Welcome. Whiskey Wisemen here with Money Mike and Dr. Joe. We've got a special one here, as this is our birthday edition. We got Money Mike's birthday here, and we got a couple things to celebrate. Of course, we have some birthday bourbon. So,
hell yeah!
Why would we do
the elusive birthday bourbon?
The elusive. This is the 2024 edition, I believe, that we have.
Yes, sir.
Here today, which is pretty exciting news. Another year older and
not wiser.
Yeah, not wiser, but maybe a little bit grayer. Not as gray as me, but yeah, it's sad. He's exactly 1 month older than me. So
yeah, it's it looks like I was making out with a snowman. You know what I'm saying? I just got a little white patch right here.
Well, I can kind of. Yeah, call me Santa.
Well, we are going to start with Old Forester, a store pick, right? Single barrel?
Yeah. This is a single barrel store pick that you and I happened to find just on a random, Tuesday. They had 2 bottles left. You got one and I got one.
Yeah. Is this the good pour?
It's a good pour. Yep.
Yeah, the good pour Longwood. Yeah, shout out to those guys.
They actually do a lot of good work. So it's a pretty innovative liquor store where all the bottles they sell, everything they get, they put on the shelf, which is kind of rare in the whiskey world. No matter how hard to come by it is. And then what's really neat about them though is when you buy a bottle and you look at the price, it actually shows a portion of it goes back to charity. And then when you purchase it, you can scan your receipt, select the charity that you want to donate that portion of the purchase back to, and that's just a really innovative concept. They've opened 3 or 4 stores around here now
in Orlando.
In Orlando. So yeah. So and this was one of their best store picks in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's a good kind of a good thing. I mean, I don't know, Joe, if you want to talk a little bit about your charity or anything along those lines, but
yeah. So I think we're all kind of part of some groups that support different charities. I am pretty heavily involved with a local charity here called the Finley Project, which they are a charity that basically when a family loses a child, like an infant loss or something like that, they have a 7-part holistic service that they provide to moms that have been impacted by that. And so this includes things like sending them, gift cards for buying groceries, having a house cleaner come to the house, providing counseling services to the families. So a lot of good work. They've been around for many, many years. My wife and I are pretty heavily involved with them, and these guys have come to a few of their charity events. They do an annual poker tournament, also a golf tournament, and anything we can do to kind of get the word out about them. It's something that people, losing a child is something a lot of people don't want to talk about. But there's a lot of good that can be done in that space to support those families that are impacted for sure.
Yeah, and we love that charity, and we've always been happy to help you guys out and be a part.
And they're on the Good Pours list of charities. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is that if you're in Central Florida and you're out looking for a bottle, or you're out shopping, please give the Good Pour a try, and the Finley Project is you can kind of select them as you check out, and as Joe was mentioning, the Good Pour, you can actually see on the price tags. It kind of shows you the purchase of the bottle and then what would be going to the charity of your choice. So great opportunity there. I think it's a great concept for a store to kind of give back to the community, and then again, a shout out to the Finley Project and what they're doing. Very, very good charity and something that we're all proud of to kind of contribute to and be a part of.
So this one here, single barrel Old Forester, it's a 124.8, floor 2, warehouse 6. Obviously, as you can tell, we've hit this one quite a bit. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting with Old Forester. Obviously, they're very known for their birthday bourbon because it's so hard to come by. But what else, John, do they put out that? I mean, I know the single barrel store selects are usually pretty good finds, relatively easy to find, but usually a little better than your normal Old Forester.
Yeah, so, I mean, they have a kind of a lineup It kind of corresponds, I think, with different years, different mash bills and offerings. I think from like maybe 1870 all the way up to 1920, which is the newest. I think it's 1924. I think we have a bottle or two of that up here. Me personally, I'm a big fan of the 1920 offering. It's about a $60 bottle. Comes in, I think, at 120 proof, I believe, 120, 125. But it is extremely good pour for $60. I think you can find it just about anywhere. Publix, Walgreens, anywhere that carries. I think Walmart possibly may have it. But all of them are good. I mean, it just depends on your flavor, kind of what you like. Some of the, I think they have something for everybody, and I think that's what, makes them a little unique.
I had no idea that you were a fan of 1920. I've never had a 1920 with you.
Yes, 1920 is good. That. Oh, yeah.
That's maybe the one bottle you haven't told me to buy when we're in the store together.
Yeah, that's because I have it, and no need to buy that one. So
just the bottle you've not invited me over.
Yeah, don't need to buy that one. No need to buy that one.
It's a good bottle, but it's also available in a lot of places.
It is.
Like it's pretty much a standard offering.
I think to me, it's their best standard offering. Yeah. That you can get anywhere, and it's good for if you just want to drink it neat. If you want it in an old fashioned, it's very versatile, and the proof is high enough to where you're drinking bourbon. And I think that's what I like about it.
Phenomenal. Let's give it a shot with this single barrel here. Good nose on it.
Whew. I can feel that one down in my chest.
I know you thought this one was kind of hot.
Yeah, I'm going to have about 4 or 5 more hairs grow. I only got 3 right now as it is, but I'm going to have a...
Yeah, this will put hair in places that you don't want them.
Yeah. Definitely.
You can definitely feel that heat.
Yep. Ooh.
It's good, though.
It is good.
It's very good.
That's what I like about it, is that it is super hot. But a lot of times with those hotter ones, the heat sort of overpowers the flavor profile, right? And I think with this one, you still can taste, the flavor, despite it being as hot as it is. What do you think, John? Is this a bucket pour? Got the bucket out for the last one?
No, it's not. It's not a bucket pour, but it's It is warm. Woo.
You just got to leave it on your tongue for a second longer,
Yeah.
Get it to dilute a little.
Mm-hmm. But what's weird? Like on the nose, I get, usually on higher proof ones, as soon as you nose it, it's like, whoa. Yep. Like it just burns everything. I get no burn on the nose. But then you swallow it, and it's like, hello.
You feel it burn all the way down into your chest.
Yeah, all the way down.
The burn dissipates pretty quick, though.
Yeah, I mean it's still a good pour.
The good pour.
The good pour is a good pour. How about that?
But we've had hotter single barrel
100%,
right?
Yes.
I feel like we got 128.
Yeah, we've done so many of these because when we seen them here in Florida, they were kind of hard to come by.
And they're getting a little more often.
Then all of a sudden, they started showing up everywhere.
Yeah, I saw one at Winn-Dixie like a week ago.
Yeah, we were buying them left and right, and all of them were over 130. Mm-hmm. And, for most of you on here that are, bourbon drinkers, getting over 130, it can go one of two ways. It's either going to be so hot that it's not enjoyable, or it's going to be just the right proof, and everything's going to come out like it's supposed to. Every single one that we've had has been just a liquid fire. And it's just... I don't know. I just it actually opens up with a little bit of water.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate that that's kind of how it got bottled. I just wasn't a huge fan, especially the Costco pick. That Costco pick was just lordy day.
That Costco pick, you can literally start a fire with that.
Yeah.
I wonder a lot about these store picks, and I know I've talked with you about this when I was first getting into this, right? Because a store pick, right? Everybody, it's a store pick. But the thing that always in the back of my head, I was always like, yeah, but how do you know the person picking it for the store knows how to pick them? And obviously, I've learned over time now that you don't, and sometimes it's a miss.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, when it's a local store, right, that you're going into. Usually you could chat with the owner, and it's probably who went there and did it.
Yeah.
I always wonder about these bigger stores, right? Like the chain grocery stores,
like
or
ABCs,
Costco. Like, are they hiring people who really drink this stuff, or are they, they just get like a these are our barrels for those big national corporations, and
I mean, that's a good
you get what
question.
you get.
Well, I think most of the big companies like that, they probably have some type of national buyer.
Like Total Wine, I know does, because they'll usually put the name of their picker. Like
Yeah.
they'll say this is so and so who, and they'll have like a little bio. But I just wonder, Total Wine's a specialty store, so
Right. Yeah, I would imagine that the Publixes and the Costco's is more of a probably buy in bulk kind of deal, because they probably have, okay, I'm going to take 20 barrels, right, and we're going to distribute them out across the stores
All
that
the
we
Costco's,
have.
yeah.
That we have open, and we'll slap the Costco name on it and call it good. I mean, I think the quality's it's good, but it's not the same.
when you can talk to the person who picked it.
Yeah, and also sometimes the individuals like at these own stores, they will, especially if they are repeat buyers with different barrels, they're probably going to get a little better selection.
Yeah.
A little better because they're kind of going back to the well. I don't know. I've had better luck with private picks than anything with the bulk. Although the Four Roses Publix pick that we had, the one that I got from last year, was probably the only 1 out of 10 that's been good. So 10% of the time, Publix has a good pick. So those are great.
I do tend to notice that a lot of the newer, independently owned ones, usually their store picks aren't as good, which goes along with what you're saying, right? Which is when they're going to whoever's distributing it, they're probably, all their good stuff they've already given to the high volume, more established players, and they're sort of saying, here's these 10 barrels that you can choose from.
Sure.
So makes sense.
Yeah.
You just got to find the store that kind of matches your profile, like your taste profile.
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of taking chances, can you believe the Browns? I mean, I'm a Browns fan from way back in the Tim Couch days. And if any of you listeners are on here that are Browns fans, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It felt
there's only like 10 listeners, so there's no way there's a Browns fan.
Yeah, if there is, you're going to know the Tim Couch era. It was, for me, it was an awesome time to be a Browns fan. And now, the last 15 years has just been a dreadful series of poor first round picks. And then we'll sprinkle a little bit of good first round and then horrible. Good first round and then horrible. I mean, you look back at, we've really screwed the pooch, man. And it just, it doesn't stop.
When was their last good first round pick?
Probably Myles Garrett, maybe. I think Myles Garrett was first round. And then, you kind of start thinking about them. You start going back and looking. It's like, Joe Thomas way back in the day, All-Pro. Was a great pick. Everybody else has been hit or miss. Like, they've had a good year here and there, but nothing sustained.
Yeah. I was never a huge fan of Sanders, but I think what happened to him with the whole draft fiasco was really unfortunate. I mean, between going as late as he did, between the fake phone call from...
I heard about that. I don't know the details about it, but what exactly happened?
So the story was that, there was a lot of hype around, what round's he going to go, how good is he really? So everybody knew. I mean, most people watching the draft probably were just watching just to see where he ended up, right? Mm-hmm. You get through like the first round, and everybody's like, "Oh, he didn't go first round," and then you get to what it was like during the second round. I think that this happened, right? Might have been second or third. I don't remember, but
yeah.
But in any event, what happened was, these guys. Have you ever watched it? The draft?
Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah, so they're sitting at wherever they're at, and they're waiting to hear their name get called.
Yeah,
there's a big so he gets a phone call, and he picks it up. And of course, if you're getting a phone call, you're thinking, "Oh, maybe
it's
this
me."
is
Yeah.
it." And so the prank caller says, "Hey, I'm so and so from like the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons." It was Atlanta Falcons, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was. And he says, "I'm of the Atlanta Falcons." Like, "Hey man, we're really excited to have you. We're gonna go ahead and announce you in our next pick."
Oh my god!
And so he's like, "Oh, that's great. I'm super excited." And then they go back and forth. I didn't listen to the whole thing, and it got pulled from YouTube. But they go back and forth, and then he says, "But you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer," and then hangs up. So they knew it was obviously fake. But then they recorded it and put it on YouTube. So of course it blew up. And then come to find out, it was the son of one of the Atlanta Falcons coaches. who had Shadur Sanders' phone number, because obviously when you're going through the draft, like, you're going to have the phone number of all these offensive coordinators. And, so, the story was he left his laptop open at home, and the son who was 21 years old, right? So, like, to me, I'm thinking, yeah, 21 years old, like, if you're 13, okay, well, we do stupid things. But if you're 21 years old,
you know better.
How were you not, how were you not smart enough to be like, first of all, could potentially ruin my dad's career, right?
Yeah.
Second of all, aside from that, it's just like a terrible thing to do to someone. I mean, that's the moment of his life. After that draft call, even if he goes in the NFL, unless he wins a Super Bowl, that's probably the happiest day of his life. Yeah. And it's not likely he's going to win a Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns, let's be honest.
Hey, now, Joe, I always said that if the Browns ever make it to the Super Bowl, I'm going.
Yeah.
If.
Well,
I mean,
what? The good news for your wife is you'll never have to buy Super Bowl tickets.
That's tough.
But I will say, I just thought that was messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It's just
yeah,
messed
for
up.
sure.
And I mean, I think they ended up finding.
Aren't they
ended up finding
him or something?
Well, they fined the team like $250,000 or $150,000, and the coach like another $100,000. But also, when they do that stuff, it's like chump change, right? Like, these coaches are making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
It's like if someone was like, "Ooh, you get a $50 fine,"
Yeah.
Dang. But yeah, I thought that was real messed up. Even as a I'm not a big fan of his. But
do you think that he should have gone higher up in the draft?
I don't think he should have gone 5th round, but I don't think he was a 1st or 2nd round pick for sure. So in my opinion, and I could say this, and you all too can't. Like, I'm a UCF fan, diehard UCF fan. I went to UCF I was there for 10 years. With not just getting my bachelor's. I have a master's, but. Diehard UCF fan, so we're Big 12, so I can say this as a fan of the Big 12, right? John and I watched this game at home. We watched Colorado play UCF at home, and it was so apparent in that game, because I didn't really watch Colorado, other than at that game. What made him look so good was Travis Hunter, right? And Travis Hunter, he's the one that was playing both sides of the ball, and he went first round.
He went for
he was first round.
Like 3rd or 4th.
Cam Ward was first, and then he was like 3rd. Was he second?
Second pick, I think. Yeah.
So I mean, from just a pure athleticism standpoint, I mean, that guy is amazing. And when you would watch, you would see Sanders throw the ball, and it's like, you can look like a great quarterback if your receiver can jump 4 feet higher than the rest of the receivers in the Big 12, which is how Travis Hunter was.
Yeah. And
so it didn't matter where he threw it on the field. He'd pull it in, and it's like, oh, look at that completion. That quarterback's amazing. So that was where I felt like, and then his dad, it's all about, charisma and showmanship. And so his dad did a great job of talking him up and, making sure that they're always in the media limelight. And so I think that's where the hype was. And it's like, is he good? Yeah, he's good. Is he 1st or 2nd round good? No. You think 5th round good? Or you think not drafted at all?
I don't know. I mean, because my thing is, when I look at the Browns and who they drafted, I mean, they took Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, but Dylan Gabriel was a Heisman runner, he was up for Heisman.
But he's undersized for an NFL quarterback, and he's going to get the hell beat out of him.
Dude, did you see what Tebow looked like going from the Florida Gators to the NFL? That guy bulked up undersized is not a problem. They can fix that. They got people who can fix that.
Listen. Did you just put Tim Tebow in the same category as Dylan Gabriel?
Well,
I'm just saying right now, Joe. That's like saying...
I'll tell you what, Dylan Gabriel made a lot more money as an NCAA player than Tim Tebow did.
Well, he did. But Tim Tebow's work ethic and his drive...
I love Tim Tebow. I'm a fan of Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow is, to me, he is one of those guys that works so hard that... he was going to outwork everybody.
I thought it was really unfortunate what happened to him in the NFL. Because what happened to him was basically his hype preceded him, and he really did, as good as he was, he still was good at a spread offense, is a scheme that does not work in the NFL because all of your defensive linemen can run a 3-4.
He just didn't have the accuracy. I mean, that's really what it come down to. Standing in the pocket if he needed
I think it was that, but I also think he had such a strong fan base that it was like, put him in anyway before we develop him. So he didn't even have a chance to develop, really. Yeah. Like, he was sitting behind these other guys, and they're putting him out there, and he's playing pretty well, but it's like, but can he play pretty well like that for a whole season? But you look in the quarterback room for the Browns right now. I'm trying to understand what in the world they're thinking. They literally have Joe Flacco. They have Kenny Pickett. They have Dylan Gabriel. And they have Shadur Sanders. Come on. Come on. There's somebody getting cut. Or traded.
Nah, somebody getting cut. Yeah, Joe Flacco, 50 years old, man. Mm-hmm. Well, I
could talk about this all night, but
we can. Yeah, but we're gonna jump over to the 117 series.
I don't know anything about this, dude.
Yeah.
Do you have any info on this?
No, not
other
really.
than it says
I thought
rum finish. Like, why the little bottles? Why?
I thought these
Where'd
are
you
like
find this?
Yeah, they're limited runs. I thought that they were only available at the distillery. You could get
I think they are only distillery.
Yeah, at the distillery. They're all 375s. And they're different ones. Like I've seen some that are extra old. I've seen some that are finished certain ways, and I think this one is you said it's Rum Cask.
Rum Cask finish.
Yeah, it's batch number 1 too.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it a go. I mean, I think this is our first.
I love sweet.
Our first run in the 117 series for Old Forester.
It's pretty low proof too. 90, 98. No, hang on. 95.
Ooh, it's probably gonna be tasty then. I mean, after having the good pour, we may actually get a good pour.
I got this from a friend of mine online. One of the Facebook groups. That's a good one.
That's good. Ooh. That does smell well. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Can you smell the rum?
I can smell something.
Uh-oh.
I never know what that means. Sometimes that means...
Is it a good something? Is it a bad something?
I'm going to let mine air out just for a minute.
Oh, God. Not again.
I'm going to let it air out just for a minute.
I can definitely smell the molasses.
Yep. It definitely is sweeter. Yeah. I think it's got a little... because lower proof.
It's pretty light, though. It's not aged very long. I wonder how they came up with the naming convention for these, right? Because they have like 1920, 1924, the 117.
I'm sure they have to have a story.
Well, I think there was something with the 1921. I think it was like a Prohibition era mash bill or something like that.
They're one of the only distilleries that made it through the Prohibition era.
Yeah.
So maybe that's got something to do with it, like the dates,
Yeah. Again, we're not really the wise man of the of the history of some of these distilleries, but
the Wiseman name was ironic.
Yeah,
we know a lot, but we don't know everything.
All right, I'm gonna go in for a little.
I mean, I think it smells good, dude.
I think it smells great.
I think the nose is.
I agree, Mike.
Right?
Yeah, I love the smell of it, but.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah?
I really like
bullshitting?
it. No, I like it. I really like it, actually.
It seems a little hotter than a 90, doesn't it?
I don't think it's hot at all. I think it hit me in the back of my throat like a sweet kiss.
That's good.
It's really good.
I do like the flavor on it.
I really like it. This may be
It's not as sweet as the Havana from Penelope, for sure.
No.
But it's just enough.
Yeah.
It's just enough.
Dude, so I get... What do you guys get on this?
I don't know. I'm getting a little bit there on the end. That's more of a... almost like a melon. Kind of like a honeydew melon or something there.
I was going to say it's very sweet. I was going to say like pear or something like that at the end.
Yeah. It's
it's
good.
Very good.
Yeah, it's
definitely
good.
A fruity piece. Yeah, it's definitely fruity.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with it. And for me with Old Forester, I'm typically hypercritical of them just because a lot of times they're very hot, but this one is really good. Honestly, this is maybe one of the best kind of limited run bottles I think I've had at Old Forester. So that hands down, yeah, give it up for Old Forester.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I wish we'd have bought a couple of these.
Yeah.
Where are they located?
Being a small bottle.
Where are they located?
Old Forester? They're in Kentucky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like right in Bardstown with all the other ones?
I don't know if they're actually in Bardstown. We can look on the back there and see them.
Let's see.
There's so many of them. Little bitty towns are all right there in the same little triangle.
Anybody watch the Derby this weekend?
I wanted to watch the Derby.
I watched the Derby, yes.
But this guy was too busy yard selling, and
I was celebrating my son's birthday.
and pressure washing my driveway and sidewalk, which was a horrible idea.
HOA's up your ass.
Well, it's a sad day. Sad day. I had to get it done.
This says distilled and bottled by Old Forester Distilling, Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hey, John, the Derby was at 7.
No, it wasn't. It was earlier than that. It was like 5:30, I thought, or something.
No, I think the pre-show and stuff, but I think the actual
Yeah,
race
I think it was like
7.
I think they posted at 7:08 or something like that is when they were ready to.
I mean,
run.
I'm not into it. Just like I don't watch it.
I typically don't. But I went to a Volusia Bourbon Society has at a Kentucky Derby event. That was awesome.
Yeah, tell us about that.
People get all dressed up and
Lots of hats.
a lot of big hats. My wife won Best Dressed Female, which was kind of cool. Nice. She got a bottle of something. It was awesome. They did so everything they do is for charity too. So they were auctioning off bottles and just different stuff. All 4 roses themed, which is pretty cool. People get all dressed up and then they do raffles. They do all kind of event, watch the race, and it's kind of more of a hangout type of thing. Cool. It was a great time, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had a very, very good time.
I love that restaurant they go to.
Yes.
Yeah. It's right on the water. It's beautiful.
Outriggers.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Did you have food there?
Yep, they did have food.
How was the food?
It was good. It was like a chicken sandwich, and then like a slider burger was the other one.
Yeah.
Like a salad.
They have an awesome bourbon selection too.
Is that the only one there is? Is just the one Outriggers
I think it's
in
a local
New Smyrna? Like there's just one.
As far as I know.
I mean, I would say personally, locally, for a restaurant, I think they have the best bourbon selection that I've seen.
It's good.
Have we seen a better one?
Yeah, I was trying to think.
The one in DeLand, maybe.
Yeah, but it's really. I don't know. That's an odd one because they only had like 1 or 2 good bottles.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Are you talking about the old hotel? The one.
Well, that one too. But I just felt like Outriggers had 3 or 4 good bottles. Like that's what I'm not thinking of just Expanse, but they had a few good ones.
They had a
lot of
good
stuff
ones.
we've had, but
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth if you're in the New Smyrna area, if you're vacationing down here, in Florida,
right
Daytona area. It is absolutely beautiful. Nice outdoor seating, live music, in the evenings, and just overall for me, it's one of the nicer.
Just places
marina
to go
settings.
And hang out,
yeah, marina settings. I think it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Man, this is so good.
It is very delicious.
Yeah,
I'm happy I got this.
I too wish you would have got more of those.
It's just little. It sucks, but well,
it's good.
When we going to talk about camp stories or something like that with the theme of Old Forester?
We were talking about Old Forests.
Old Forester.
Mm-hmm.
We had the idea of talking about like a camp, whatever camping stories you have.
Well, what do you think, Mike? What's kind of a memorable camping experience that you had?
Well, as I've grown older, I kind of like to enjoy more of the glamping.
I hear you.
I'm not one for mosquitoes or for a whole lot of heat. In my old age, today's my birthday, 43. Yeah. So the older I get, man, I can't I don't like hot places. I don't like
to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't like to sleep in hot places, man. Like it's got to be a nice, cool place.
You know what's funny is that growing up where I grew up, camping was something that you did, right? We had quite a few lakes in the area that you could drive to. There were TVA lakes and a couple that were maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers and things like that, and they were beautiful bodies of water, but they were not commercialized. So you would go over and they would have campgrounds and things like that, which was awesome. And Ashley, my wife was not a camper at first. Let's just say that. We started out in a tent, an actual real tent, actual camping.
Where you're sleeping on, you feel every rock.
Yeah, you feel everything. We made it about, I think I set the tent up. I got everything going. We made it about an hour and 15 minutes. an hour and 15 minutes, and I was taking the tent back down, and we were going back home. You know,
Really?
we were going back home.
No.
Yeah. So then I was like, man, you know, we got to do something different here. We got to do something different. So we got a pop-up camper. You know, it's like one of those. It's kind of just in the box, and you pop it out, and it's you know,
it's like a little trailer.
It's like a big tent, right?
Yeah. And
so we did that. We got everything set up. I got pulled in. She made it until midnight.
Nah.
So about 5 hours, just about 5 hours, and then load this thing up. We're going back home. You know what I mean? So finally. Then was like, okay, we're going to buy a real camper, you know, a full decked out deal. We get it. We turn the AC on. We get the water going, have hot water. You know, we got the toilet there. Everything's ready to go. And she made it one full night. And, yep.
That was it. And then you sold it.
Yeah, no. After that one full night, she's like, this is the only way I can camp. I can't go anything below this. And, you know, we did that for quite a few years. We had a couple campers. Mom and Dad had a camper. I had a camper. And we had, you know, pontoons and jet skis. And we did that for quite a few years. And then even when we moved to Kansas, I bought a camper out there. And that was probably the most fun camping that I've ever had because I could go out to all the nice areas out there. I took it to Utah. I took it to Grand Junction, Colorado. Got to see a lot of things that normally I wouldn't have, right? Because most of the time I was just camping in, you know, a normal campground, and it was, you know, it was okay. But, you know, being out west, I was able to see everything, and it was so comfortable having a nice camper like that, AC wise. And then when COVID hit, I spent months in my camper because I was, you know, kind of essential working, doing, you know, building, you know, natural gas infrastructure and plants and stuff like that, and I lived out of that thing, and it was just, you know, I enjoy it. I think I'm probably one of those guys that could be extremely happy living out of a camper when I retire and just being that. I think
that'd be cool to travel the world.
I think that's funny, dude, because our wives are so different. Mine would sleep outside if you let her. I mean, she goes camping without me because she knows. Like with her, you know, some of her friends.
Yep. And
she goes camping without me because she knows that I just won't, like, that's just not my thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I would have to camp like that, like in a camper that I can walk into some AC. Mm-hmm. Unless it was cool out, then yeah, that's fine. But we're in Florida, man.
Yeah.
That's not. It's. I mean, you talk about swamp ass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like it quick. That happens quick. You know what I'm saying? I can't. How about you? You like camping?
So when I was younger, went camping a couple of times the old way, but my mom was real big into glamping as well. So if we did, we usually would like rent, you know, you go to a campground and, you know, with other families, and we would rent something. But, you know, like, I don't know, probably when we were down in Miami, actually, we came up, we did a rough in a tent at the Fort Wilderness Lodge over in
that's Disney.
In Disney, yeah. But we were like not Disney camping. I mean, it was hot. It was like in April, and literally we were in a tent, and that basically told me I'd have to do it that way too. It was not fun. Like I just don't like to be hot. I don't like to sweat. Maybe if the temperatures were mild, because I love being outside. I love, you know, just sitting on my back porch, but it's like for me to sleep, I need it to be pretty cold. So I'm not a big camper.
That's one thing I like about a camper is that exactly that. You can turn the AC on, and some of these bigger campers now, they got two AC units, one for either end of the camper, and you can get it about 60 degrees.
It's like a hotel room. That's the
thing I do.
In Florida. Every hotel room I go to.
Same thing. I do the exact same thing when I first get in.
Yeah.
The worst ones are the ones that you have to put your card in because I don't even turn on the light. I just look for the thermostat, and then I'm messing with it. Beep, 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 and I'm like, why is it's broken?
Yeah.
And then I go over to the door and I see that they have the little slot for your card, and I put that in. All the lights come on, but it's like I do the exact same thing where I turn it all the way down.
I can't sleep.
And if it doesn't go down far enough, it's like I just keep hitting the button.
Yeah, I like it. I like it so cold that, you know, I have to throw 2 huge blankets over me. Yep. I pull the CPAP down, and I mean,
you pull the Bane mask.
Yeah, when that mask hits, I get one or two hits off of it, and then I'm out cold. It's like that's all I need. Just a little bit of cold and some heavy blankets, and give me that CPAP.
It does have to be cold, man. I don't know how people sleep when it's like in warm. I just can't. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Me either. I couldn't do it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I love camping. I'd love to do it again. I think the kids actually enjoy it too. So I think that's a big one. But when I moved to Florida, it's so difficult to find a place to store the camper for one, and it turned into work. It turned into a lot of work. I think probably the next one I get, it'll be a drive camper or something that we can just jump in and go because. I don't know, trying to hook it up and tow it and then set it up and yada, yada, yada. It's just, I don't know. Time. Everything now is about convenience.
Right.
It's just
how quickly can I do this?
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
I even remember putting that tent up, and I was like,
even that's
this
a pain
is
in the
so
ass.
much work.
Yeah.
I was like, how did I know an event by now? Like, you pull it out of the box and it just goes, and it's there, right? And it was a big tent. It was a big tent. It had like different compartments. Yeah.
I have to save my camping for bottle releases and for
actually
tailgating.
That is a pretty good. We are basically camping, right?
Look,
when we stayed overnight,
and
we have cots. We don't cover up, but because it's on the coast, you get the coastal breeze.
Yeah.
And actually, we haven't really done it yet where it's like. He doesn't really do drops in the summer because
we did that first one. That first one we did, dude. Holy crap!
Yeah, but we did have fans.
We did bring fans, and he was still
honestly
hot as
though
hell.
that is less memorable to me than that one we did back in December when it was like 32 degrees, and we literally had to go sleep in your truck.
In the truck,
because
it was 51 degrees.
Whatever.
No,
dude.
it felt like fucking
as a native Floridian, I honestly that. Was so miserable to me that I will now in the winters look to see what it really was because I won't go. I just doesn't matter what he has. He could have Pappy for $150. That was horrible. Like I was.
I mean, we slept in the truck, and that I'm pretty sure you died that night in the truck.
It was cold, man. I have never stayed out. Like I do like a cold room, but I found the temperature threshold for me.
Yeah.
I find it funny because. I lived in Kansas for all those years, and it would get down to negatives all the time. The wind chill was absolutely horrible. But I was out there, and it was like the wind started to blow, and it just felt like it was 30 degrees, but in reality, it was probably 45 to 48. But we just didn't have the clothes. We just didn't have the clothes.
Well, and that was the truth for the thing we did that night because I live in Florida. I'm not going to have clothes to sit outside when it's 30 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely lower than 48 or whatever you said.
It had to be. Dude, that shit was freezing. Dude.
Yeah. There's no way. Because my nose was like frostbite.
It was a frostbite. Oh, man.
Your nose was frostbitten.
That's right.
Well, are you done?
I'm done. We are ready for...
You done?
We're ready for the Mac Daddy of the night.
This is the signature Old Forester.
Yes, for the birthday bourbon for the birthday boy.
I have been saving this for a while.
Yeah, quite a few months.
This bottle, unopened, 2024's birthday bourbon, what's it say? 107 proof. Which I believe this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this has been the highest proof birthday bourbon.
It may be.
I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. I know it's definitely high.
Because all the other ones typically are in the 90s.
Yeah, or, 101.
High 90s, yeah.
Yeah, high 90s.
So...
Will this be the second one you've had?
No, I've had a couple. Yeah, I've had a couple.
He's had a couple. I've only had one.
I just remember him and I had one, and he did not like it. I liked it, but that was the one you didn't like, John. Remember?
Yeah, this one?
No, was it this one?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was this one.
But we had it again at Tuffy's, and
it was
completely different.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's one of those things like we talked about, I think, in our last episode about you gotta let it open up a little bit, let it get some legs, and kind of see what kind of bottle it's going to be.
Yeah. She's so pretty, man.
It is pretty.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, if you see a bottle,
This is like considered like a unicorn bottle, man.
Yeah, that one
like
is
this
super
is.
hard.
I got this from our very first episode. I got this with the Eagle 17, same store in Perry, Florida. The guy was super nice. PJ's Liquor, and it's been closed for. I mean, it's been a while. I'm gonna say 6 months.
It's been a while, yeah.
So I'm happy to
You've
open
told
it.
us every time we see you that you're going to open it on your birthday. So
Yeah, so here we
Here
are.
here we are.
Now
we're
we-
celebrating with you folks.
Now we get to enjoy it and hear the birthday pop. Here we go.
Oh,
Nice. All right.
A little birthday. Yep, I'm gonna give it a little chance to air out there.
so 43, Mike. What are you thinking? You excited?
Let's talk about that, guys.
Age?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 43 in a month here. So
Look,
I will be probably a lot of years from now, but
Listen. Let me tell you about.
I got to get to my 40s first.
First of all, the color on this is awesome.
The smell on it's awesome too.
Let me tell you about turning 43 for me. Dude, you would have told me, like, when I was 38, 39, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm 20. Like, I was running marathons and triathlons and doing all kinds of stuff. Bro, like 40, 41, 42 hit, and it literally feels like I just got run over by a truck.
Every day when you wake up.
Like, dude, like,
I
not
already do feel
necessarily
that
every
way,
day.
so-
Not necessarily every day, but man, like, if I do anything like strenuous or like, or sometimes I just wake up and my neck hurts.
Yeah.
Or like my leg hurts or something. And I'm like, what the hell is happening?
I walked around Aquatica for a day in sandals, and my calves hurt for 3 days afterwards. So, I mean, for what it's worth, you're probably doing pretty good.
Well, I mean,
better than me.
Gosh, dude.
Well, that's what happens to me is like, I wake up and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm feeling pretty good today. And then I go look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh. I was like, this guy, he looks old. I was like, man.
This guy,
Yeah.
You look in the mirror and you're like, whoa, get out of my house.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like, it kind of scares me because I'm like, man, who broke in here? You know what I mean? It's like, but then, I realize, it's me.
dude, I don't know, man. I feel like, I don't know. It's hit me hard.
Yeah.
Like the low 40s for some reason has hit me hard. I feel like physically and mentally too, dude. Like I feel like drained a lot. Like I just get home and I'm just like, I just want to chill, man. Like before I was like go 100%.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I just get home and I'm like, I just want to be like just chill.
Well, we may need to, honestly, might need to get your testosterone checked, because we are getting at that age, Mike. To where
You think so?
I don't know.
Is there an age for that to get
Well,
that checked
I mean, yeah. Look at me. I'm gray as a son of a gun at 42.
Is that related?
I don't know if it's related or not. It's
How
short,
long have you been gray for?
a long time. Yeah, I may be running low for a while. Didn't know. I need to get it checked. But that's what they say. You hit kind of that middle age crisis or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of times
I thought that's why we started this podcast, because of our middle age crisis.
we are. Yeah, we're right here. Smack in the middle of it. But they say that getting tired and all that stuff. You can get your testosterone checked or whatever, and you may have to get the supplements or whatever.
Wouldn't that make you more angry?
I don't know if because it makes me more angry. I don't know if
I think the idea is if it's low, to stabilize it back to a baseline, right?
Yeah.
So you'd be as angry as you were before. Were you angry before?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Unless it's over, in that case, it's like
Yeah.
calibrate it, right?
Hey,
Well, maybe I'll do that.
Hey, I'm that That's the thing. It's like here lately,
Dr. Johnny D here giving medical advice to Mike about turning 43.
Well, I start thinking about that stuff, and you're like, man, you see all these commercials. You know what I mean?
It's interesting though. I don't ever think about that kind of stuff unless I'm talking to you, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I need to go to the doctor because.
Well, it says the guy doesn't have a single gray hair in his body.
That's right. Yeah,
I do have gray hairs. But they're up here. Look, there's like a little sea of gray.
You need a microscope.
Yeah, but he also has that CPAP too. It saved his life. There was never a thank you, Johnny D, or nothing. It's like, oh, I'm wearing a CPAP now. Yeah.
Shout out to Phillips.
Yeah, you're still alive. You are still alive.
Yeah, I mean, and
apnea is an interesting thing because you don't know if you have it, but other people around you do, right? Like they notice that, and so it's not something that you're usually going to go to your doctor and talk about. And it's kind of like when I had bad vision, I didn't have vision insurance, so I just went for like years without getting my eyes checked. And then eventually I got vision insurance and I went and got my eyes checked, and they're like, you don't wear glasses? And I'm like, no. They're like, you're pretty myopic. And then I got them, and when I put them on, literally it was like high definition television, where I was like, oh, this is what the world looks like. But it was this slow descent into everything's blurry. Because like now, obviously, when I take them off, I can tell, but you don't notice it when it's happening to you.
Yeah,
Joe. That's not the same as your CPAP issue.
No, sleep. In sleep, you get really, your sleep goes down, and you get tired, but you're like, you sort of acclimate.
You're used to it.
You're like, yeah, this is just how I feel.
Yeah,
and
I just wake up tired.
Yeah,
every day.
It's just every day. That's how it feels. And then you're driving, and you're falling. Your eyes are going like this, and you're like, well, I guess it's just what happens. This is how people drive.
And I die in my sleep almost every night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Joe's like, oh, it wasn't that bad, but he's like, oh, you can't tell. But he would go to sleep, and he would be like. And then all of a sudden he goes, and there's nothing for like seconds, like 10, 15 seconds. He's just sitting there and you can see his body. He's not moving. He's not breathing. He's just like.
You saw this all outside wearing a liquor drop.
And then all of a sudden he goes.
John's describing himself.
Oh
no! Hey, but listen, but that's true though, dude. It is true. We witnessed this.
It scared me to death. I was like, "Down, devil!"
We witnessed this, dude. We told you that.
So PSA for getting yourself checked for sleep apnea and treatment if appropriate.
Yeah, just if you want to find out, just
I like how Mike's even contributing to this discussion when we've heard multiple times that you do the same thing and you still haven't been to the doctor.
My wife wants me to do it too, but I
do think it's more common than people think.
100%. I mean, a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah,
it's definitely more.
Even if you walk through an airport, you can see people carrying the little, but it looks discreet, right? It just looks like a briefcase, but
yeah. So I mean, we're sitting here talking about birthday bourbon and talking about Mike's birthday here,
getting older.
Yeah, getting older. I mean, you sit back here and you kind of reminisce about where'd my life go? Where'd my birthdays go? Where kind of. What was memorable, right? So what Joe, you can kind of start us off here on what was something you look back and you say, man, that was a great birthday or a great experience or not at all. I mean, you tell me.
With birthdays, it's always real interesting because I've never been big on like, ooh, I'm another year older. Like to me, every year, my birthday comes, and I love spending time with family and going to dinner and. Whatever, and probably doing something fun and whatever, depending on the year or whatever. But I don't, it's not like I've ever had, when I turned 20 or when I turned 30, there was this big extravaganza. And frankly, I've never really been someone who looks back and is like, but I wish someone had, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know why that is. I think it's just my personality. But I also think when you're with what you're talking about in terms of another year older, reflecting back, I do that a lot around New Year's. I don't really, like when the new year rolls around, I think, okay, for this year, what are my goals? What is it I'm trying to achieve? How did I do last year? But with birthdays, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't really know. I don't know why it's never really been like something that's, for some people, that's real important to them, right?
Yeah.
This next year, I'm doing something fun and celebrating. But
yeah. So this guy, he went to college for 10 years, and you didn't have like a good like hoopla in college for your birthday or something? Like you didn't like go streaking or anything like crazy like that?
I didn't even drink for the first time until I was 21.
Well, I mean, you were in college though.
But I didn't really party. Like I was never a partier really.
He was too busy studying.
I would
getting good grades.
I would have never guessed that. I would know.
I mean, I was studying and like working. Like I worked full time in college. Like there wasn't even really time to party. But
Well, I partied my ass off in college.
Would you have guessed that, John?
And I went to UCF also. I went to UCF for I want to say like 5.5 years, and I got a bachelor's. So it took me that long to get a bachelor's.
But I think that's average. It's not
5.5 years.
Yeah, it's like 5
Really?
years average.
I thought it was like 4. Like
I mean, that's the program's designed that way, but like
Yeah.
a lot of people have to work or do other things during it. But
Yeah. Well, I partied my ass off in college. I drank beer and probably about a gazillion Jaeger bombs. And that's kind of where my stories are going to go, because I was born and raised Jehovah's Witness, and feel as you may about that, but I didn't celebrate birthdays or Christmas or Halloween or anything for like the first 15 years of my life. So like it was, and it's tough because you see all your friends, especially when you're a kid, right? You see all your kids, friends spending birthdays and Christmas and all this stuff. So I kind of always felt left out. So when I moved out of my house, out of my parents' house, and obviously I kind of separated from their religion stuff, I was like, so now I'm going to celebrate everything, and I'm just going to go all out. Because I'm going to make up for lost time, right? Sure. So, like, every birthday I've had, we've always tried to spend it with family or friends, or, do at least a dinner or something like that. For Christmas and Halloween, I mean, you guys have seen my house. Like,
he does a great Halloween party.
We do big parties. We decorate, like, balls to the wall. Like, it's just, and I feel like I'm always going to be that, because I feel like regardless of how you feel, like religion-wise, about celebrating or not celebrating, or what it means to you or not means to you, it's still, for me, and we've talked about this before in the other podcasts, it's like, for me, it's all about friends and family. Yeah. And it doesn't matter, like, what it is. It could be a birthday or Christmas or whatever.
It's like an excuse to get together.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, as far as birthday stories, I've had alcohol poisoning twice in my life, and I know that's probably not something to be proud of, but
probably learned from it though.
I didn't learn from the first one, that's for sure.
Yeah, they say it takes 3.
I learned from the second one.
Well, for me, it was sort of modeled. Like, I mean, I actually saw a friend when I was in college who that happened to, and like it was genuinely scary.
Yeah,
for, like the other people around them, and it was like I was genuinely concerned about him. I mean, we're like, put him on his side and make sure that if he vomits, that he doesn't choke on it. And I was just like, I don't know that I want to ever get them, so.
Well, both of the times that I had it, I went to the hospital both times.
He probably needed to.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
the first one was for my 25th birthday. I was 25. Was it 25th? I don't know. It was low 20s. It wasn't 21. But I remember having that many Jaeger bombs. So whatever the birthday was, 23, 24, 25, it was that many Jaeger bombs. And if you know anything about Jaeger bombs, it's basically Jaeger and some kind of energy drink, Monster.
So you don't remember those birthdays then?
I remember them very vividly up until the point where I blacked out and was taken to the hospital. So the first one, that's what happened. And then the second time was with friends. I think I was 30, or it was a big birthday. I think it was 30 or something like that. And we went to Universal to Pat O'Brien's. You guys ever been to that? It's a piano bar. It's awesome. Me and my friends used to go all the time, like every weekend, man. We used to know all the songs. We used to know the players, and we always sat in the front. It was a blast, dude. I mean, it was awesome. It was a great time. And but this one time, it was my birthday. I don't remember which one it was, but so they have this like 5-gallon like Hurricane, which is that drink that they're I guess famous for. And it actually, the glass kind of looks sort of like a Glen, but like imagine this, but like this tall, like just massive, and so
meant
much
to be shared.
Yeah, so you have to have at least 10 people in your party to even order this, because it drinks 10, and they don't even let you get any other drinks for the night because that's enough, right? So we ordered this thing. We actually had like 15 people, and we ordered this thing, and it was like $150, which is cheap if you think about it for whatever 20 years ago. Now it would cost like probably $1,000, but I mean it came with the 12 straws or whatever the shit was, and we all start drinking. It starts going down, and when you got 5 gallons of fluid, it doesn't go down like as far as you think it's gonna go. So we're probably about 2 hours in. We're having fun, whatever. And this thing is like half. And half the people in our party is like, I'm not drinking that no more. I'm done. And then me and 2 of my friends finished it. And that night, I remember leaving the parking lot. I was not driving. My girlfriend at the time was driving. And I just threw up. Just everywhere. It was bad. Like I was in and out of consciousness. I was bad. And she's like, I think I need to take you to the hospital. She took me to the hospital, and sure enough, man, they had to give me like IVs, pump my stomach.
No, that's rough.
Do all the stuff. Yeah, it was rough.
So you learned to drink responsibly from all this.
Yeah, I mean, so after that, I have not done anything like that again. In fact, I can probably count with one hand how many times I have been inebriated enough that I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
After that, and I'm 43 now, so I feel like I've done all right for the last 15-ish years.
Yeah.
So, what about you? You got any good birthday?
He's being very pensive over there.
Yeah, I mean, not. I mean, for me, the only one that really kind of stands out is my 21st, and you would think it'd be this huge big party. Oh, you turn 21, this and that. But for me, I was on vacation with my at the time just with my girlfriend and her family, and we were in we wasn't staying in Myrtle Beach. We were kind of north of Myrtle Beach, up in Sunset Beach, and Ashley's dad took me to the riverboat casino that goes out in I think it was in Little River, and it takes you out, kind of like what we did on the Victory deal.
Yeah.
And I got to go out. That was my 21st birthday, is that I could go out on that boat and I could gamble, and I had a beer. I could go in and buy a beer that day and everything else, and it was probably one of the I don't know. Like I said, it was just me and him. And it was just my, my father-in-law, at the time, and me. And then he did not play at all. He didn't play any of the slot machines or the card games or anything. He just kind of came with me, and he went up and he read his book and everything. And I just kind of did my deal the whole time. And I kind of just, looking back on it, it's like, man, he only went because it was my birthday, and he knew I wanted to do that. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna take him, and Ashley wasn't old enough at that time, so it was for me, that was one of the ones that kind of just stands out, because the rest of the time, once I got married and I had kids, the birthdays, they happen so fast. Like, it's just boom, boom, boom.
I have literally forgotten until the day of that is even my birthday.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of sad.
Those kids are moving.
That's kind of sad.
No, but it's not like it's not something I'm constantly keeping track of in my head of like how old I am. Yeah.
It's not so much about what I do; it's who I do it with. And,
we didn't talk about this really at all.
Yeah, we got too nostalgic there for a minute on birthdays. Right?
Listen, this.
I think it's fantastic.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great.
John is not.
But okay, so but before John opens his mouth, the bucket. Listen, you better not pour that shit in a bucket. If you put that shit in a bucket,
you have the bucket back there.
You bet it is back there. Yeah, I'm gonna have you pour it into mine if you're gonna pour it in there.
Yeah, you there's can no way between us.
Yeah, there's no way it's that bad, Joe. There's more there, bro.
No, it's amazing.
There's no way it's that bad, dude. Now I will tell you this: we just had was it 2018? 2019? What year was that? The one we just had?
21.
21?
I think it was 21.
That one was better.
I agree.
Than this.
Yeah. So that's to me that's where I'm at. Is that this is a good pour, and I think it is. Is it worth the hype? Yeah. I mean, it's a limited bottle. It's a. I don't know. I guess it depends
Pour you
on
some more, Joe.
how you look at it. But when I compare it against some of the other years that I've had, this does not reach that level, and it's good. But like you said, I don't know if maybe it's 20 or 21. I can't remember which one we had, but you could tell the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just the sweetness, the complexity.
Yes.
Everything was just on point. This one is, I hate to say it, but it feels like it was rushed. Like they just bottled this thing and they're like,
That's good enough.
yeah, it's good enough. That's a great way.
Yeah.
That's a great way to say it. This is good enough.
Are they all
Yeah.
12 years?
No.
No, they change. Some are 14, some are 15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some are. I think there's a couple that are like
Less?
11 years, or maybe 10 or 11 years. So.
Yeah. I will tell you about the one that I had before with you was that to me it felt like it had like beginning, mid, and then like a solid finish. This is very good, but I don't get like a full beginning, middle, and end,
Yeah.
and a whole lingering effect like
I agree.
some of the other ones.
Yeah, I just think it's not very complex. It's a good all around bourbon. But what I would say if I was Old Forester and this is my kind of my flagship release of the year, I would feel like, we missed it this year, and that's okay. We missed it this year, and we'll try to do a better offering next year. But overall, it's still better. I mean, I'm sitting here being critical, but the reality is it's probably better than 95% of everything that's on the market. So don't take it as hey, this is not very good.
I just think John doesn't like birthday bourbon. I mean, John, it's okay. Like the thing is that's the second one I've had now with you.
Yeah,
and you don't like them.
No, I do like them. Well, honestly, I wish I would.
You want to like them.
I wish I'd saved you a little bit of that sample, so you because you could tell. I mean,
that day
It was a different. It was quality.
Joe. Well, we kind of felt we didn't feel bad, but Joe was on his cruise, and John had gotten a sample of this 20 whatever birthday bourbon.
Usually, when I leave is when they get good stuff.
And then but here's the thing though, we thought about you. We did. We're like, maybe we should leave a little bit of this to Joe.
Yeah, we thought about it.
But then we're
honestly,
like, nah.
For how long?
I was like,
hey, let me ask you guys a question. Truthfully, is it because at the beginning of that day I sent you like 19 pictures from the cruise of how amazing it was and how
Probably.
much I was relaxing?
Because
you all did start making fun of me.
We're probably like, F him. We're gonna have this.
We were relaxing at the same time. We had a pool day all day.
That's right. Yeah.
And,
we went to my house. We had a nice pool day.
Wait, it was a Thursday.
No, it was
No, it was like I thought it was a Friday or Saturday or something.
Oh, you did it after Thirsty Thursday then?
It was a holiday, wasn't it? What? It was Easter. It was Easter.
Oh, it was for Easter
Sunday,
weekend.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was Sunday.
I feel less bad about that. You should have said that. I thought it was at Thirsty Thursday.
No.
It was Sunday. Wasn't
Okay.
it?
No, yeah, it was. We had.
You opened it on Easter.
I think it was
Yeah.
Easter
By all
Sunday. Yeah,
means.
we had a pool day and we just kind of, we just hung out and relaxed and.
So it was the day I left.
Yes.
Okay.
It was the day you
Got
left.
it, yeah.
Yes.
And what it was, we were drowning our sorrows because we was like, oh, Joe's gone.
We're gonna miss him for a week.
We're going to miss him for a whole
Yeah.
week.
You were hoping I made it because you told me that.
Yeah, I didn't
if I
think he was
leave in
going to.
time-
That's why I texted you. I was like, you get on the boat, and he was like, I'm already here. And I was like, you lucky son
John,
of a gun.
I lived in Miami we lived in Miami for 8 years, and we drove back and forth from here. I know how long it takes and what traffic would look like.
Long time.
Well, you want to finish that up, John? You got to finish that up, Johnny D.
You got to close this out, man.
Look.
Yeah, well, we got to close it up. I want to have a little bit here to cheers with.
Oh.
Well, I got
Sorry.
like a drop.
I also got a drop there.
Got a
See?
snifter.
There you go.
Well, guys, everybody watching, please like, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear from you.
We want to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, we're trying to, we've got bourbon here as kind of the front, but the reality is we're going to kind of talk about all the silly stuff, life, some good, some bad, and love to hear from you about what you would like to hear about. If it's sports, hobbies, kind of what we do.
Types of guests you want to see on. Yeah,
types of things. I mean, we're kind of getting started here, and content's going to start flowing, and just let us know. Big shout out, happy birthday to Money Mike here with the birthday bourbon pour, and happy 43rd to this young man.
Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Yep.
I really appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate your friendship, and hopefully if God willing, to many more.
Thanks, everybody.
I'm going to do my last drop.